Hello folks, thank you for watching. We just wanted to give you kind of a building update, what's going on. First of all, I just want to introduce this woman next to me. This is Melody Savage. Melody's been the person that has been the go-to person to make sure we're on stage. She's the one, she and a couple others pretty much know everything that's going on with our building project, and she is the chair of this team. And so we just thought we'd give everybody kind of a look on film, but you've been excellent. If you've missed any of the updates, she is putting updates almost in every single e-blast. Excellent, so you'll know what's going on. But they have done excavation. There was a huge trench. You should have seen that on video not too terribly long ago. And fill us in, Melody, what this trench is for, and now they're filling in. It was, if you ever saw it, we had excavated all the way down to the footings, all the way up and around as far as we could go over here. They put in the membrane. They put in a protective cover. Membrane, that's this. That is not that. It is under that. That is protective cover to protect the membrane that's there. So there's a membrane under this black part, and this is protecting the membrane. So it's almost like a double. Yes, it is. Yeah. It is. And then this is supposed to stay above grade so that then there's no water, carryover. But they are planning to re-pour this next week. They've got, at the moment, they've still got a lot of grading and whatnot and backfilling to do. But the trench over here, which was interesting because it was operating as a French drain, what we had there with the rock. It was only operating as a French drain. The water was not going anywhere. So all the water it was pulling some away from the building, but it was just sitting. So there was nowhere for it to go. So. And you also, help me out, Melody, you found piping that was there but had no outlet to get anywhere. It just stopped. Yes. There were some pipes that go nowhere. Yeah. And it didn't carry water anywhere. No. And there were a couple things going on here. When we had that big, huge rain that we had, some of the storm sewer line collapsed. So we had that. So they reconnected that. But with the drainage, the French drain, they were able to locate a drain, flush it, and attach to that, so that now any water that is collected there will go away. The waterproofing that was actually done correctly, but was too low and not done in a few areas. So we had some of that going on too. So all that's been corrected. So what was here was done right. It was done right. It wasn't completed, for lack of a better term. No, it was not as it should be. These drains had no place to go. Like you see this drain here, there was no place. There was nowhere for it to go. It was just a French drain, and the water just continued to leak into the building. And it would just sit, and then through hydrostatic pressure go into the building. And it can be so bad. I've read that the concrete block inside can literally fill up with water for the moisture going in. My gut is we may have had some of that. We may have. Because we had block walls that were just, looked like they were disintegrating. They were. A lot of that mold that we found was behind our wallpaper, that lovely mauve wallpaper. Yes. When they started pulling it up, it was just covered. And only up to a certain level, but it was covered in mold. And then as they were taking down ceiling tiles, there was mold on the upper side of a lot of the ceiling tiles. So there was much more mold than what we thought. And go ahead, I'm sorry. No, I was just going to say, even after we had an abatement team come in, there were still some spores showing here and there. And some of that was black mold. So we had to redo that to make sure we get it clean. Yes, and now everything's clean now. We had hoped to do the coffee shop, all the fun things. Elevator, yes, all the fun stuff. And then we got here and we realized that it started with the HVAC system, I guess, that it was just not serviceable. The air down here was not being circulated. It was not being filtrated. There was nothing, and that added to our problems. So just the HVAC system is costing us $1.8 million. Because it all had to be re-engineered. It had to be. Ductwork It is, and you'll see all of this ductwork is new. Everything's new. Everything is. And anything that they were able to reuse will be cleaned at the end. Our option was to literally close this building off and not use it. Yes, pretty much. That was it. That's the only choice we had, was either refurbish or close it up and not use it. Yes, and I think there are probably people in our church too who did not come down into this area because their classes are
because they're upstairs. Yes.
Upstairs, yeah.
So I mean, just walking down the stairs, you could smell the mold.
Yeah.
You know, it was just growing on the chairs.
Yeah,
you know, I mean, it was
yes.
This is where some of the moisture damage is, and I know that's been patched and repaired many times.
Multiple
but
times.
Yeah. So.
So why were the walls taken out?
Because they all had mold. So we had to take out all of the drywall for mold.
Were sheetrock drywall stuff.
Everything was sheetrock.
Behind the
wallpaper.
some of the wallpaper, and then some behind the actual sheetrock itself had mold. Yeah. So.
Yeah, there was mold everywhere. These were all rusty from moisture damage too. So we had to have someone come in and they checked them, and they're fine as far as structure goes.
More surface rust, but that
surface.
shows you the extent of the moisture.
It does.
Yeah,
so they were wire brushed and encapsulated.
What's happening in here?
We are getting a new kitchenette in this area. I mean, it'll have the same footprint as the one we have, basically, as it should be.
Have a true kitchenette.
A true kitchenette, yeah.
In the Christian Life Center.
With a microwave. I think we're adding a microwave.
Yeah.
If you can see a lot of these breaks up here where they've had to cut, we had no ventilation between rooms. The only ventilation we had at all was through the doors and down the hall and whatnot.
Yeah.
So a lot of this is being added for ventilation. And we have some air handlers too, some added air handlers for ventilation too. One thing here, I don't know if a lot of people remember, this used to be the little youth office. And we demoed that wall to make this a full-size classroom. So the space will be
one little small room with no window, no light, and now it's one large room.
The boiler room and whatnot had to be expanded, had to be made larger for the equipment we have. And the Advent class is the one who sacrifices the room.
The room.
Yeah. So in that area now, we will have an ADA bathroom, and we'll have the little washer dryer room, and then the boiler room will be expanded. So it's through here.
This is where the mechanical room is expanded.
Yes.
If you look that way, where this gray block, that was the mechanical room that you never saw.
Yes.
And then where it's painted was the Advent classroom.
Yes.
And so now,
so this
what else going here?
Yes, this will change. This will be a new bathroom over here, ADA with a shower. This will be a laundry room. In this back section, we will have some storage, which we always need here. Yeah. So that'll be nice to have that. And
so
then
the Advent class didn't lose this room because we wanted it in a bathroom. It was going to be useless anyway because the mechanical room had to expand, and so.
And well, and another reason too, we'll have a corridor running over here too, and there will be a door to outside that will go upstairs because we had to have more egress for our gym area. So that will be a stairway, hopefully enclosed, that will come down and access in this area and go down a corridor then. When they first uncovered it, it was almost black looking.
Yeah, it was really
and I just asked, I said, why is it black? And they said, it's moisture, it's all moisture. So it has dried out. We will put the best of the best waterproofing on this. It's a system, and I can't tell you the name of it. But there's a waterproofing system that will go on top of this and hopefully take care of that. Now, you know, we can't stop the moisture coming under the building.
But also, we're hoping that a lot of what we're doing with this
we'll take care of that too.
Because we're actually taking the water away.
Yes.
When the building was before, we weren't taking it away.
And that should help here too.
Yeah.
I think the corridor will be here, and you'll turn and come down this way, which takes us over to the elevator corridor. We had hoped to have a completely open corridor. This was going to be a corridor.
All open to go
yes.
to what will eventually be the elevator area.
Yes, and the elevator entry would be back here.
Right.
So this was going to be a corridor. Well, we found out as we got in, and it was not listed in the original plans, that this is a support wall. So we cannot demo this wall without a huge expense, basically. Yeah. So what we decided to do is, at this point, is just add a door here.
We started at one spot, and then as we began to uncover, we'd have to back up, start again. How many iterations has this?
I don't even know at this point. It's at least 4 or 5. Yeah. And when I say that, it's a complete thing. Yeah, I mean complete drawings, whatnot. because we started thinking that we might be able to do everything, and it did not, as much as we wanted to do that, it did not work out that way. Yeah. And in order to have a building that we can actually use, we had to do these things first. There was not really a choice.
Foundational things
yes.
Otherwise would have created an inoperable building.
Yes.
So we have the same thing going on here as we have the other side.
We do.
Even though we didn't think that we had as much moisture,
it was still
foolish for us not to.
Yes, and that's what we talked about. We actually discussed that as to whether or not it would be necessary to do this, because we didn't have as much interior mold damage on this side. Yeah. But in order to know that we've done what we need to do to make sure it isn't going to happen down here was necessary. Yeah. And again, they take it all the way down to the footings, and then they work from there. Yeah. So,
but this is still damp and wet.
It is
on the wall.
Oh yeah,
right here,
yeah, it is
damp and wet.
It is. It will. And this also has a drain. Actually, there are no gutters on this side, but this actually does have a drain. And it was draining into the pipe, the main pipe. To carry out. We are getting a building that we can use, and there will be no mold, no moisture. It will look brand new. Because we've had to remove the floor and some of the walls and different things, all new finishes. They'll have new floors. There will be new ceilings. One thing they do have to do, they have to drop the ceilings. So
we're already kind of feeling on a low, but in order to get the HVAC system in there,
they had to drop the ceilings.
That would work this building. Yeah, they had to drop the ceiling.
But it'll have new ceilings, new bathrooms, an additional bathroom, the ADA bathroom. It'll just look fresh and new, and we know it'll be clean.
And new furnishings down there.
New furnishings, yep.
And so it'll feel like a brand new building.
It will. It'll look and feel like a brand new building, and it'll be clean. I feel really, really good about it. Things are going as planned. Now, I'm very happy.
And we have taught the congregation, you folks have given so generously to even what we're now calling 1B. And our architect and engineers are working on what is the best way to move forward with 1B.
Yes.
Financially, with resources and stewardship.
Yes.
And we don't have all the answers to that yet, because
we're
in the middle of all of this.
We are. Once we get this out of the way, then we can move on to more of what we wanted. It was initially supposed to be a 6-month project. Yeah. But there are a lot of lead times. There are a lot of things we've uncovered along the way.
We've discovered, like our doors down there. Who would think doors?
Yes.
Go buy doors. Well,
yes.
It's not that simple, because these are specific doors. They have to be made for fire. They have to be rated a certain, and then they have to be put in. So how long is that?
That we just found out. This was from a couple of weeks ago. We found out that there's a 15 to 17 week lead time on our doors.
If you see this woman around town or here at the offices or everything, give her a huge thanks. She really, I'm really so glad we recruited her to do this, because strangely, bizarrely, she enjoys this stuff.
I do, yeah.
She does. She loves
I do.
it.
And it isn't just me. I have a whole team.
Yes,
I have a whole team. It isn't just me.
I have a whole team that works on this. But she and Susan, Susan's moved away, but Susan's still, when we need her, she's still there.
And we have some other contractors in our congregation that are backup. If I have a question, because I don't know it all either, and I have a question,
John
I have
Hintz and Larry Mitchell, and the whole building team.
Russ,
Russ, Seacrest, so that people that can support you and to help you, but she really has been the one. So make sure you give her a big thank you. Hey, so thanks for watching. We hope this has helped you in understanding where we are and where we're going. And Melody, thank you again.
You're welcome.
See you next time, folks.